Good morning to all of you out there. I am Cito Beltran and you are watching the program Agenda via Signal TV channels 8 and 250. At kung wala po kayong Signal TV, mag-subscribe na kayo para pati NBA at mga bago naming programa mapanood ninyo. For those of us watching via Facebook or want to watch us also on Facebook, it's One News PH. Hindi po agenda, One News PH Facebook po, no? But this is YouTube. In any case, it's August 11, year 2020 pa rin. Kailan mo matatapos itong taon na ito para matigil na itong inaabot nating indulto. In any case, August 11, 2020, it's a Tuesday. And today, we are going to interview 3 women. The first one would be Dr. Maricar Limpin, Vice President of the Philippine College of Physicians. Kung natatandaan nyo, sila po, they were the ones who led the charge or were part of the main group that asked Malacanang for this time out, this 2-week time out. Hindi po para magpahinga sila, hindi po para magbakasyon sila, but for the hospitals, to be able to recoup, to recover their momentum dahil sobra pong dami ng mga kaso na overwhelmed na sila. Ang problema, while we went from GCQ to MECQ, mas lalong dumami ang kaso. Now, our next interview after Dr. Maricar Limpin would be another physician and former congresswoman, if I am not mistaken, Dr. Ana York Bondoc. Dr. Bondoc, for her part, reportedly appealed to the president as well, not for MECQ, but for the removal, for the ban on the use of rapid testing or the RATS system, yung rapid testing na ginagawa, because she believes that the risks are too high and it is probably contributing to the increase of cases. And after that, we will speak to Irene Dumlao, the spokesperson of the DSWD, because kahapon po sa headline, sa front page ng Philippine Star, may litrato doon sa Marikina, yung mga nag-aabang ng SAP, yung people who were waiting for their social amelioration fund, completely forgot about social distancing. And this has been reported on numerous occasions that when people go for their SAP funds, what happens is no one is enforcing social distancing. And that's why we have a lot of these problems. So we will discuss that with her. And of course, hindi lang naman po DSWD, no? Maraming mga pangyayari sa Pilipinas na ang tao nakakalimot. Yung DILG, sabi sila ng sabi na kayong mga nasa bahay, ang infection ay nasa bahay na, pamilya na. So an official of DILG said, we should observe social distancing at home. Tell that to the Marines. I mean, if you live in a room that is 10 square meters or 30 square meters and there's 6 of you, how on earth are you supposed to observe social distancing? Yung iba naman nagsabi, mag-face mask at mag-face shield. Alam nyo po, imbis na kayo ay nag-iimbento ng mga para-paraan at mga gimmick at mga sasabihin ninyo, por 10%, parang awa nyo na, maawa kayo sa Pilipino, wag na lang kayong magsalita, gawin na lang ninyo yung trabaho ninyo, wag na kayo makipag-argumento, makipag-diskurso tungkol dyan sa mga bobo shields na yan, yung mga sinasabing barriers, etc. In any case, before I go off tangent, let's go to the stories from the front page of the Philippine Star. There's no stopping the Education Department from opening classes on the 24th of August. Secretary Leonor Briones said that delaying further the resumption of school would be harmful to children as they risk being left behind by their counterparts in Southeast Asia. Secretary Briones said the Philippines is one of only two countries in the region, along with Cambodia, whose students have not returned to school. The education chief clarifies the schools are doing blended approach or the distance learning alternatives to ensure the protection of learners and teachers. Pala said extending the modified enhanced community quarantine or modified ECQ in Metro Manila and nearby provinces requires a delicate balancing of health and the economy as the government continues to assess its next steps on quarantine measures. Some experts, including former National Task Force Against COVID-19 advisor Dr. Tony Leachon, are recommending to extend the modified ECQ to 1 month. The Health Department, meanwhile, has said that it will take 3 weeks for the MECQ impact to become evident and see whether the recalibrated strategies did work. The Philippines has gone into a recession or 2 consecutive quarters of contraction for the first time, economic contraction for the first time in 29 years, mostly due to the effects of the pandemic. The Philippine government is in talks with pharmaceutical firms from 4 countries that are leading in the development of COVID-19 vaccines, says the Finance Department. Finance Chief Carlos Sani Dominguez III said that the government is now coordinating with the United States, United Kingdom, China, and Russia to secure a supply of COVID-19 vaccines. President Rodrigo Duterte himself also confirmed the development in his speech last night. And lastly, Philippine Health President and Chief Executive Officer Ricardo Morales has offered to take a medical leave. This after he disclosed to the public that he is undergoing treatment for lymphoma or cancer of the lymph nodes. Morales also said that he is considering to take legal action after the public disclosure of his medical certificate by the Senate. Reacting to this, Senate President Tito Soto said that Morales is a public official holding a crucial role during a pandemic, so his health is a matter of public concern. Okay, yan po yung mga bali-balita, mga nasasagap natin. Yan po yung lumalabas ngayon sa mga pahayagan, lalong-lalo na sa front page po ng Philippine Star. Hindi lang po yan bali-balita, tunay na balita po yan. Walang fake news sa Philippine Star. Okay, and let's now move on to our first interview. Sana po swertehin tayo. Last time medyo hindi tayo makakonect sa kanya during the entire program. Let's speak with the Vice President of the Philippine College of Physicians. She also chairs the steering committee at the Philippine Coalition on the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases, Dr. Maricar Limpin. Dr. Maricar, good morning.
Good morning, Cito, and good morning to everyone.
Okay, and finally we are connected. Ngayon ang tanong, Doktora, because last time when we tried to reach out to you, the Philippine College of Physicians requested the president for a 2-week timeout. And mukhang nalamutak nga yung salitang timeout kasi akala nung iba dyan o pinalabas ng iba dyan na kayong mga doktor gustong magpahinga, gustong magbakasyon o gustong mag-leave. Pakiliwanag na lang po na what was the point to the timeout, and because the president gave us MECQ, not ECQ, what has your group observed?
Yes, yung timeout, the call for a timeout is really a time for the government and for all of the country, no, to go back to the drawing boards. Just like when in basketball, no, di ba pag if you're seeing na parang delikado yung game, you're going to lose it, then you call for a timeout. It is really to recalibrate and to refine, no, yung mga pandemic control strategies na meron tayo ngayon. Seeing that there is this sudden surge, no, sudden rise in the COVID-19 cases. So that is what we called for, and the timeout basically is really requesting government to put us on a tighter community quarantine, no. So hindi naman namin nakuha yung ECQ, but the president gave or put the National Capital Region into modified ECQ. So which in itself is still a tightening of community quarantine. So okay na yun sa amin, and that actually gave a lot of time for us, no, at least 2 weeks time for everyone to really take a look at what we were doing, and ano ba yung nangyayari at bakit patuloy pa rin na umaakyat ang dami ng mga taong nagkakaroon ng COVID-19. So from the time na nagtawag kami ng timeout, actually we've been talking to the Department of Health almost every day. And then ang National Interagency Task Force, we have also been talking to them, including Secretary Galvez, no. So many of the members of the group have been doing so many dialogues and communication with the government agencies, particularly DOH. So, unti-unti na bubuo, and I am hoping that by the end of this MECQ, sana lahat ng programa talaga na kakailanganin na gawin, no, at ma-implement ay mailagay na sa ayos.
Doktora, can you give us a glimpse, some ideas? Ano po ba yung mga naisip na mga plano o paggagawa para ma-solve itong problema ng resurgence of COVID-19? Kasi medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng disconnect sa publiko eh. Dahil yung publiko, iniisip ng mga mamamayan, okay, we've had a timeout. We got an MECQ instead of an ECQ. Sige, okay na rin yan. Now, biglang dumami yung mga COVID cases. I mean, before we were only talking about 2,000s. Now we went to 3,000, and today, if I'm not mistaken, as of yesterday, it was 6,958. So parang anyari, what's happening?
Yes. Actually, we do not expect na immediately bababa ang number of cases ng COVID-19. Remember, Cito, ang incubation period, no, ng COVID-19 is between 2 days to 14 days. So, lahat ng nakikita nating kaso na ito yung mga tao na na-expose sa mga pasyenteng may COVID-19 2 weeks ago pa. So, talagang
Before the timeout.
Yes, before the timeout. So, we need to be realistic. Hindi natin dapat isipin na parang magic. Nag-timeout tayo and then immediately bababa. Hindi ko natin makikita yun. Tama po ang Department of Health. No? Sinasabi nila ano ang makikita, kailan natin ma-expect na makita ang epekto ng MECQ at nung mga programa na ngayon ay unti-unting tinatry na i-implement, ano? So makikita pa natin yan, tama ang DOH in about 3 weeks time pa.
Okay.
Doon pa lang natin makikita yon.
Okay, what solutions or corrections can we expect, or is the group trying to implement? Kasi nag-time out kayo, so tawag lahat ng mga coach, o sige, baguhin natin yung play. Ano yung play ngayon?
Yeah, number one, kailangan natin ipaabot sa lahat ng mamamayang Pilipino. And we have been doing this for many weeks na, na kailangan ay tayo palagi nating isa-isip ang mga self-protection measures na dapat nating ginagawa. unang-una diyan yung pag-wear ng mask, yung physical distancing at yung palaging paghuhugas ng
Mm.
kamay. And then lately we are also recommending, encouraging everyone na gumamit din ng face shield kasi napakita sa mga pag-aaral na pag ikaw ay gumamit ng mask tapos nagkaroon ka ng physical distancing and gumamit ka ng face shield, ang risk na magkakaroon ka ng COVID-19 ay mga 1% na lang. So, ang laki ng ibinababa. So, that is the reason why ngayon, ina-encourage din namin ang paggamit ng face shield. Although we do realize, hindi rin lahat kakayanin siguro yung paggamit ng face shield. Actually, nagtingin-tingin nga ako kung magkano na yung face shield ngayon. Although, again, makikita natin, marami sa mga kababayan natin. Dati kasi may mga 20-20 pesos na
Oo.
mabibili ka. Ngayon, na parang naging 100. So medyo tumataas. Sana naman ang mga kababayan natin na naggagawa po niyan at binibenta ang mga face shield, sana naman po wag niyo na lang ho itaas. Kasi ito naman po ay isang pandemya, nasa isang emergency situation ho tayo at dapat po sana naman kung gusto ho natin na kumita, wag naman ho tayong maghangad ng masyadong malaking kita at the expense naman po ng mga kababayan natin.
Siguro, Doktora, pwede nyo lang panawagan yan uli kay Presidente na maglagay na lang ng fixed price dyan sa face shield because it is a common knowledge the wholesale price ng face shield. Wholesale price na binebenta sa mga magbebenta is only 18 pesos sa Divisoria. Aba, ngayon tumatakbo na raw na wholesale price 40 pesos. Pagkatapos ang bentahan ngayon tumatakbo na ng 50 hanggang 90. In any case, so the wearing of protective gear, malaking bagay yan.
Yes,
But what
yes.
about in the operations of kasi parang ang concern ng mga tao naghahanap sila ano ba talaga ginagawa ng gobyerno para labanan itong COVID kasi feeling nila katulad nitong one hospital command. Parang referral center lang yan Hindi naman yan talaga directly to fight COVID. So what is the value of the one hospital command center at ano pa ho bang mga programa ang pinag-uusapan ninyong lahat?
Naniniwala kami na magandang programa ang One Hospital Command Center, no? Although siguro sa isip ng mga tao, referral, lang yan network, no? But importante yan kasi sa ngayon, ang mga tao dumadagsa. Pag may nararamdaman, dadagsa lang lahat yan sa ospital. Kahit na mild lang na kaso at hindi naman kailangan pumunta ng ospital, lahat pumupunta sa ospital. So that is why ang hospitals are being overwhelmed, no, by people. So, ang importante diyan ay malalaman ng mga tao ngayon kung saan sila pupunta, kung may nararamdaman sila, not necessarily in the hospital. And then the other thing, kung sakaling puno na ang ospital at kailangan admitin yung pasyente, puno na yung ospital, at least dyan sa One Hospital Command Center na yan, malalaman na namin, mas madali ngayon kaming mag-refer sa ibang ospital para admit yung pasyente. Kasi sa ngayon, ang nangyayari, it will take us kalahating araw. So, imagine kaming mga doktor, bukod doon sa talagang ibibigyan namin ng treatment yung pasyente, kailangan pa kaming we also waste a lot of time para lang maghanap ng ospital na kung saan pwedeng ilipat ang pasyente. So, importante yung na yan, kasi isa yan doon sa mga big problems na kailangan talagang i-solve, no? And we're very happy na meron tayong such a thing as a One Hospital Command Center.
Okay, what other recommendations did the Philippine College of Physicians and the group of, kasi hindi lang naman po Philippine College of Physicians ang nag-push ng time out na yan. Ano pa ho ba yung mga rekomendasyon ng mga ating manggagamot o samahan ng mga manggagamot?
Actually, ito yung aming grupo, yung Health Professional Alliance Against COVID-19, We are made up of 150 40 health professional organizations, no? So halos buong health sector na to, no? And ang isa pa sa recommendation namin is to make use of appropriate testing, no, for COVID-19.
Okay.
Dahil ang pinaka talagang recommended naman talaga even by the WHO at saka maski Department of Health, no, sinasabi paulit-ulit naririnig natin na ang pinaka-test talaga para ma-diagnose ang COVID-19 ay ang PCR o yung swab test, no. Yung
Okay.
gamit ng rapid antibody test or serology test, no, parehas lang naman pag sinabing serology, that refers to rapid antibody test, ay meron ditong gamit, no, pero sa aming mga doktor usually ginagamit namin ito para na malaman kung naka-recover na ba ang pasyente sa COVID-19 or kung nakagawa ba siya ng antibodies, yung ito yung nagdedepensa, no, tumutulong na sa ating katawan na labanan ang infection, ano. So tinitignan namin kung nakagawa na siya niyan, yung
Okay.
ng antibodies. And in fact, pwedeng gamitin natin itong rapid antibody para malaman natin kung yung plasma, no, ng pasyenteng nagkaroon ng COVID-19 ay may enough na antibodies para maisalin natin sa isang tao na mayroong severe COVID-19. So merong uses yung rapid antibody testing but not for diagnosis. Kasi
Okay.
for diagnosis sa amin useless ito, no, kasi para lang kang parang nagulaan ka o para ka nag-toss ng coin, no? Either heads or tail lang yan. 50%, no? 50% probability na meron siyang COVID, 50% probability na wala. So, hindi siya talagang acceptable as a diagnostic
Okay.
test.
Your group, the Alliance of Health Workers Association, or I don't know if I said that correctly, yung anti-COVID health group,
Yes.
mukhang very very influential kasi nakinig naman si presidente sa inyo. And to his credit naman, he is a responsive president, no? Bagamat may tampo. But in any case, the question remains kasi if we put everything in perspective, this issue between swab test and serology, RATS test, kanya lang naman pumasok yung RATS test was because in the beginning, the swab tests were unavailable and very expensive. And when we opened up the economy, it became the choice of companies to use the RATS test, the rapid antibody test.
Body.
Kasi sabi nila, mas mura, mas mabilis. Ngayon, ang tanong, Doktora, are there enough test kits for swab test? Kasi pinagmamalaki nung spokesperson ng Malacanang na, nako, dadami ng dadami ang ating mga laboratorio. Mas tataas pa ang ating testing capacity, which is good news. The question
Yes.
is it readily available? Is it affordable? Or should your coalition once again call out to President Duterte, maliban po sa price control ng Shield, pwede po bang mag-price control na tayo dyan sa swab test na yan? Kasi that seems to be the issue. Kung hindi pa mag-iingay ang mga doktor at media, hindi bababa ng bababa. If you remember, a month ago, Doktora, swab tests were 8,000. Ngayon, mukhang pwede na sa 5,000.
In fact, actually, sa mga ibang laboratory centers, no, it's even mga 3,500, 3,000. So, mas mababa pa. Dahil nga dumadami naman na ang laboratorio na makakagawa ng PCR. So, medyo yung kasi law of demand and supply lang yan talaga, Cito, no? So, talagang medyo nakikita na natin. Meron nga nag-o-offer pa ng dalawang, a little over 2,000, ano? So, actually, siguro isa yan sa mga pwede namin idulog sa presidente.
Yeah,
But,
kasi Doktora Maricar, I just want to make a point of this, no? And I don't want to put your group in the spot kasi mukhang kayo lang naman yung talagang authoritative at pakikinggan ni presidente kasi you people know what you're doing. we are in a global pandemic, a national health disaster. Parang sabi ko, ano pa silbi nung ating mga declaration of national disaster if we cannot control the price of face shields and swab testing and have one uniform test? Parang, I'm sorry, no, sumusuporta po tayo sa pamahalaan, suportado natin yung mga tumataya ang buhay, isang paa nasa hukay na mga frontliners katulad nyo. Pero parang, I think it's about time we put our foot down, that we cannot commercialize lives and test procedures.
That is, I think pwede nating gawin yan, ano? But we're now making a dialogue where we are reaching out to government. And in fact, ang gobyerno naman natin ay yung sinasama na kami, no? So that is one issue siguro na pwede naming idulog sa gobyerno. And ang happy naman kami kasi kahit papaano ay nakita namin talaga ang respond ng presidente natin. And so we know that we have a president who listens to its people. And I think yun ang pinaka-importante, no? Yung presidente na
Alam mo, kanya ko kayo kinukulit, doktora, kasi bago madinig ni presidente, ang daming alam mo yung suyod. Ang daming sumusuyod nung aabot kay presidente, pero pag kayo mga doktor, wala kayong agenda, wala kayong politics, nagsalita kayo, biglang sasabihin ni presidente, anong nangyari diyan? Bakit ganyan na nangyari? And he acts, okay? So anyway, moving forward. So yung testing, ang posisyon ninyo dapat for diagnosis, kung gusto nating alamin kung merong COVID-19, dapat ay RPT swab test.
RT-PCR, yes.
RT-PCR swab test lang.
Yes,
Yung
right.
RATS test, kung gusto mong mag-donate ng iyong blood plasma o gusto mo
Yes.
lang malaman kung tinamaan ka na, pwede yung RATS test.
So may indications yung rapid antibody test. Although I think ang nagiging problema natin lalo na doon sa workplaces, ano, paano ba nila malalaman agad-agad ang resulta, no? So may mga bagong lumalabas ngayon ng mga test Cito na maaaring tignan natin very promising, ano? Parang very similar din siya doon sa PCR at mas mabilis din siya. Yan yung rapid antigen test, no? So, but hindi pa namin mairekomenda yan kasi hindi pa namin nakikita talaga ang resulta ng mga pag-aaral tungkol dito. But very promising siya. So, I think later makikita natin, baka isa ito sa mga pwede nating gamitin para ma-diagnose natin ang isang pasyente na kung may COVID-19 siya o wala, nang mas mabilisan. But I think ang pinaka-importante din, ano, sa mga taong babalik ng mga trabaho nila, siguro ang pinaka-simpleng test na pwede nating gamitin ay yung 14-day test, no? Which is making use lang ng mga simptomas, no? Like yung lagnat, ubo, nahirapan huminga, plus yung exposure sa tao na may COVID-19, no? So ito, mas mataas ang sensitivity nito kaysa nga doon sa rapid antibody test. And ito so far ang nire-recommenda namin. Although I think sa mga business side naman and in the other, maybe in the local government unit, ang medyo ang kanilang hesitation ay they want parang something na mas medyo parang feeling nila mas sigura, may test sila na nakikita either positive or negative yan. Kesa doon sa simple na 14-day test. But for now, we need to trust yung 14-day test.
Kasi yun ang ginagawa sa Singapore at saka saan na nga ba, South Korea, na
Yes.
pag pumirmis ka lang, if you stay put for 14 days, even if you have COVID at one point or another, either the symptoms will show up or it will just totally disappear. Is that correct?
Yes, right. Kaya yung mga ganon, yun lang ang aming ina-advise na gamitin.
Now, given... Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Cito. And then, it also, yung issue on cost ng test. It
Mm.
also answers that. Kasi with the 14-day test, wala nga tayong expense doon eh. Diba?
No.
So, mas magaan yung para sa tao.
Okay, yun ang hindi namin maintindihan ano kasi alam mo kahapon talagang inggit na inggit ako. I felt so envious watching. But also it was good news. I'd like to introduce good news to the program eh. New Zealand celebrated its 100 days of zero cases. So sinasabi nila it can be done, kaya. And based on what you've said and what other physicians have shared on agenda, if we follow the time-based test na mag 14-day quarantine ang isang lugar, mawawala itong COVID basta wala lang galawan. Kasi ang nakasira yata sa atin, yung pagpasok ng mga OFW, pagpasok ng mga untested, etc. So, paano na tayo ngayon na doktora? Kasi you guys wanted ECQ. Tony Lechon is suggesting instead of up to August 18, let's push back to August 30, push on to August 30 para sure na. Kanya lang, paano bang gagawin natin? Patuloy pa rin yung positive cases.
Kaya nga importante itong modified ECQ. Sana makumpleto na natin ang mga programa na kailangan nating i-implement sa bansa natin. So kaming grupo continuously working with government, with the Department of Health, with the International Agency Task Force, and we're also trying to seek appointments with other government agencies, no, exactly para siguraduhin na yung mga programa na dapat na mailagay natin ay mailalagay. And also, this is also one way, no, na tinutulungan namin ang Department of Health at saka si Presidente para talaga masiguro natin na in the end, lalabas tayong wagi dito sa laban na ito. Importante sito, no, this cannot be just government only. Hindi pwedeng si Presidente, DOH lang, ang National Interagency Task Force lang ang magtatrabaho. Kailangan buo, at hindi rin naman pwedeng kami lang sito, no? Kasi hindi namin kakayanin ito. So, kailangan din natin ang tulong ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino. Kasi ang problema talaga sa atin, tayong mismo, yung bawat individual Filipino, hindi natin sinusunod eh. Ang dami ko pa rin nakikita, maski itong MECQ, no? Yung mga tao talaga, yung tamang pagsusuot ng maskara, yun ang parang hindi nila talaga maintindihan.
But Doktora, are you still there?
Kailangan
okay, medyo naputo. Ayan.
Ang ilong at saka
bibig.
Bibig, yes.
Okay, Doktora, are you going to go with the August 18 date or are the group of physicians pushing for supporting GCQ or pushing for MECQ? Ano ba ang assessment ninyo?
Sito, I did not hear that.
Kayo ba for continuation of the MECQ or GCQ?
Yeah, I think yung December 18, we're just going to look at
August 18.
Yeah, yung August 18 na end ng MECQ na binigay sa atin, we're just going to go with that. And we will now leave it up to government kung ano ang tingin nila na mas maganda. Kasi talagang kailangan mag-balance, no? And hindi naman ito labanan ng kalusugan versus kabuhayan. In fact, ang kalusugan at saka ang kabuhayan can go hand in hand, no? And that is why magbuti nga, we have also talked already with the business sector, no? With Makati Business Club, and even later today, magkakaroon na naman kami ng another meeting, ano? So, talagang nagpe-prepare naman tayo para siguraduhin na by the end nitong MECQ, if government decides, no, ang presidente natin he decides to put us on GCQ again, dapat handa na tayo doon sa pagbalik ng GCQ.
Okay, this morning I read a post on Facebook na kilalang tao, hindi ko na lang sasabihin ano. Bali ang sinabi lang niya doon sa pinost niya ay anuman ang mangyari, darating at darating ang punto, lahat tayo tatamaan ng COVID-19. At ang dapat nating gawin ngayon ay paghandaan na lang natin yung posibilidad na yon, magpalakas ng resistensya, uminom ng mga bitamina, etc., etc. Kayo po ba, do you believe that? Naniniwala ba kayo na there is no avoiding the bullet of COVID-19?
Well, pag tinignan natin sa ibang bansa, no, they were able to control COVID-19. Hindi lahat ng kanilang mamamayan ay nagkaroon ng COVID-19. So, I think we have to be optimistic na kakayanin natin labanan ang gerang ito. At dapat lalabas tayo ng winners. No? Ganyan kami mga doktor eh. And hindi namin pwedeng ipasubali ang buhay ng mga tao na mag-build up na lang tayo ng resistensya. Kasi nakakakita naman kami ng mga pasyente na batang-bata pa, wala namang sakit, and yet tinamaan ng COVID-19 at nalagay sa alanganin ang kanyang buhay. In fact, may mga bata nga, 35 years old na namatay because of COVID-19. No? So, hindi tayo pwedeng we cannot put the life of an individual to chance. No? So, hindi pa pwedeng ganon. So, kailangan natin talaga siguraduhin as much as possible na makontrol natin itong pandemic because that is the scientific way of doing it.
Okay, well, alam mo, Doktora, biglang naalala ko yung panahon ng mga guerrilla, yung mga nabasa ko, bagamat hindi ko sila inabutan, nabasa ko yung mga storya nila. And in many ways, ang maraming Pilipino ngayon parang guerrilla eh. Palabas, labas, pasok, nakikipagsapalaran, taking risks with COVID-19 instead of just staying home secure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much, Doktora, for your inputs and for the positive message. We hope that you will stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and please, kung meron po kayong anunsyo, pakisabihan lang kami dito sa agenda because we would be more than happy and glad to announce it to our viewers. Thank you very much, Dr. Limpin.
Yeah, thank you and God bless everyone. Stay safe.
Okay, that's Dr. Maricar Limpin of the Philippine College of Physicians and the Alliance of Health Workers Against COVID-19. And ayan po, no, just before we go to the break, I just want to make a quick review of that. The most important is we don't give up. We don't assume like that person in Facebook said na it is inevitable na lahat tayo tatamaan ng COVID-19. Not necessarily. Marami pong nabuhay sa World War I, World War II, maski na sa Hiroshima, nung binomba ang Hiroshima, nabuhay. Kasi nga nakakubli sila, naalagaan nila ang sarili nila. And it's the same thing with us. What we cannot be is act like guerrilla and take chances of saying to ourselves, I need to work, I need to buy something in the grocery, I need to go to the whatever, and take chances of getting COVID-19. Don't take chances. Be smart, wear your mask, wear your shield, keep your social distance. Kasi kahit po pumipila kayo para sa SAP, sa Social Amelioration Fund, hindi ibig sabihin nakakapit kayo sa patalim at ilalagay niyo yung paa niyo sa hukay. Mag-ingat po tayo. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, let's talk naman to Dr. Ana York Bondoc, who, on the other hand, I think she just wants the rapid antibody test removed. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250, as well as One News PH Facebook and One News PH YouTube. Okay, next up we have Dr. Anna York Bondoc. She is a pulmonary and critical care specialist at St. Luke's Hospital, Quezon City. Okay, expert po siya sa nagiging mga problema natin ngayon. She also served as a representative, congresswoman of the 4th District of Pampanga from 2004 to 2013. Medyo mahaba-haba. Ilan yun? Bali, 2 terms ba yun? More. 3 terms. In any case, ayun po. No? Let's welcome Dr. Anna York Bondoc. Ma'am, are you there?
Hi, sir. Hi, good morning po.
Good morning, Doktora.
Good morning
And
po. Ng agenda. I'm a fan po of Cito for a long time na.
Okay, thank you. Dahil nga nasa malayong lugar kayo, medyo apektado yung inyong internet, ibibigay ko na sa inyo yung free reign. Nanawagan kayo kay Presidente, itigil na ang paggamit ng Rapid Antibody Test System o RATS, at sinabi ninyo na ito ay pinagkikitahan na lang, malaking pahirap sa maraming tao. Please go ahead, Doktora. Why have you taken this position?
Sir, thanks for guesting me. Medyo mahina po yung internet ko. I'm sorry, opo. But if you're calling me, if you ask me kung bakit po I'm trying to request the President to ban rapid testing, o yung tinatawag po natin, formally it's called antibody serology testing po. And because it's being used po to diagnose acute COVID. Bale, ginagamit po ng mga everybody actually to diagnose kung may COVID ang mga pasyente today. And that is not a test po for acute COVID. It's unreliable and it's not accurate po sa ginagamitan po natin ngayon. So by using po these tests, mas nako-confuse pa ho yung mga tao. May COVID ba talaga sila o wala? Napakarami pong false positive and false negative, and I will explain yung dangers po niyan later on.
Go right ahead, Doktora.
Sige po, ang tinatawag po natin, kasi most people, they want to answer the question. 2 things. May COVID ho ba yung kaharap nila ngayon? And the second question is, nakakahawa ba yung taong yon? That is the main question that everybody wants to answer. So yung rapid test po, or yung tinatawag formally called the antibody serology testing, that is not the proper test for that question. Kasi po may tinatawag po siya, it's inaccurate and unreliable in the early stages of COVID, kung kailan po nakakahawa po yung mga tao. So ang nangyayari po is, nawala ho ba tayo?
No. Go ahead.
Okay po. Ang nangyayari po is, tinatawag pong false positive. Yung positive po yung rapid test nyo. And then, yung empleyado po, usually it's a company who will do the rapid testing po para malaman kung papasok ba yung empleyado sa kumpanya o hindi after this MECQ, magkakaroon ng katakot-takot na rapid antibody serology testing again. So let's say po na positive po yung empleyado, okay? So immediately the company will say 14 days quarantine, no work, no pay na yung tao. So uuwi po yung tao doon sa barangay, tatawag po yung kumpanya. So barangay captain, MHO, the municipal health officer, the mayor, lahat po matataranta, susugod doon sa bahay ng tao. Ika-quarantine po siya, yung mga close contact niya, iko-contact trace. And then, courtesy of the government, isa swab po yung pasyente, no? Kasi the rapid testing is unreliable, so it's a swab po, no? It will take some time. Paglabas po ng swab, negative po yung pasyente. So can you imagine po na the person lost 14 days of work, the entire barangay, mayor, lahat yung gastos po ng gobyerno. And then what? For a false positive. So mali po yung test. So masakit na ho yun for the worker and for the LGU po na inayos po nila yung situation. Ngayon, the false negative is even worse. Ano po yung false negative? Ito po naman yung rapid testing po na sinabing wala po kayong COVID. Okay? Yung si empleyado po na test, let's say, or si balik probinsya na test, wala po kayong COVID. So pagpasok ko niya sa office, everybody there is wala po kayong COVID, di ba? So kakain po sila together, makikipag-usap. Yung pala, it's unreliable. Isa sa kanila may COVID o di nagkahawaan po lahat.
Okay.
So the false negative is sad because you lose money, naka-quarantine yung mga workers, yung economy natin damaged. But the false negative is even worse because that person will go around thinking na wala po siyang COVID at magkakalat pa po.
Oh, okay. Doktora,
So,
yung...
I would think po that...
no, say, go ahead. So you were saying... Doktora? May konti tayong delay with Dr. York Bondoc. But Doktora, so what is your position? A complete total ban on the rapid antibody serology test?
Sir Cito, matagal na po ako sa gobyerno. I'm also aware that there are uses po for the antibody serology testing. What I'm asking for po is a very strict regulation po ng antibody serology testing. Kasi po, number one, what are the details po, no? Kasi maganda ho kasi the only reason I said ban rapid testing, mas maganda naman ho na mailagay imbes na regulate antibody serology testing for the diagnosis of acute COVID. Haba, no? So the details po are this. Okay, number one, no advertisement direct to the public. Right now po on the internet, talagang tinitinda na lang po kanan at kaliwa ito. So it should not be sold or advertised direct to the public. Number two po, dapat by prescription only. At saka po walang mass buying. Dapat po may pangalan kung sino itetest. Hindi po pwedeng 200,000 test LGU of whatever. Hindi po ganun yun, okay? And then number three po, if ever they would advertise to the doctors, kailangan po nakalagay po malinaw doon, limited, not to be used for the diagnosis of acute COVID. Number
Okay, I think we're having problems there, but we will try our best to restore that connection with Dr. York Bondoc, Ana York Bondoc, kasi siya po yung nanawagan kay Presidente na i-ban na itong use of rapid antibody serology test. Okay, so I think we are going to try again. There's Doktora. Thank you. Doktora, going back to what you said, sabi mo, no direct advertising, selling to the public, must be prescription basis, no mass selling or mass buying, particularly sa mga LGUs, and not for use for diagnosis of acute COVID-19.
Apo. And no selling po sa mga LGU. The LGU has no, hindi po dapat yung mga LGU ang gumagawa nito. And isa pa po, no, for the doctors po ito, for doctors po who use the antibody serology testing to diagnose acute COVID, there is a very strong fine. So may uses po, there are uses to antibody serology testing. One of these po is, halimbawa po magdodonate kayo ng plasma. So, titingnan po nila kung may antibody po. Opo. Then you can treat. Those are the uses. Pero yung para sagutin po yung tanong, yung kaharap ko po ba ay may COVID na yung araw na to? At nakakahawa po ba siya ngayon? You should not do an antibody serology test because the results that you will get are inaccurate and unreliable and mas nakakagulo pa po sa mga tao. Can you imagine, sir, ito na lang the quarantine po of one person computed, kasi nasa LGU po ako at 140 pesos a day. Pagkain lang ho yun it's for 14 days, it's more than 2,000. So can you imagine po yung economic cost na quarantine lahat ng mali?
Okay.
Instead of spending the time po, sana bumili lang sila ng face mask imbes ng antibody serology testing.
Okay. Any other, are there groups or alliance of health workers who are supporting you on this? Kasi, siyempre, parang bago itong direksyon nito.
Marami po, marami.
Mhm.
Opo. All these, our medical society said this already in March. Should not be used po for the diagnosis. Sinabi rin po ng DOH, should not be used to return to jobs.
Mhm.
Again, natong time out was also mentioned, should not be used for the diagnosis. Pero parang nawawala ho yun, and hindi ho pwedeng should not be used lang Dapat ho, kasi may choice dapat ho dapat ilinaw na ho ng gobyerno very strictly. Kasi if we just say should not be used, well, people will use it because they want to.
Mhm. Doktora, meron bang kaibahan yung made in America versus made in Japan versus made in China? Kasi meron akong isang kilalang mayor, he swears by the product, pero ang sinabi niya, ang kanyang qualifier, Cito, yun lang galing sa Amerika ang matino. Yung mga ibang ginagamit kasi dito, puro galing sa China. So, in your experience, what's the what is there a difference?
All antibody serology testing, whether made in sorry po, hindi masyado malinaw Are you trying to ask me, are there some okay tests and some tests that are not okay?
Yeah.
With regards po sa antibody serology testing, it really, whether it was made in China or wherever it was made, it should not be used to diagnose acute COVID po. Hindi po talaga dapat.
Okay. Well, I think you have...
Antibody will happen 14 days po after the exposure.
Okay. We lost Dr. Anna York Bondoc again, but in any case, I think we've got all of that covered. I think the point here is you have a 14-day period. Yung first week, yun yung pinaka-highly contagious, pero hindi naman lumalabas kagad. So pag nag-rapid test ka, whatever. In any case, I won't play doctor. As you've heard what the doctora said, she said, let's ban this for diagnosis, no mass selling, wag tayong nagbibigay ng magbebenta, advertise yung mga rapid testing na yan. Kasi totoo nga naman, being in local government as well, with her experience, Dr. Bondoc knows that this can be subject to abuse. Right now, so many local government units are purchasing the rapid anti-test kits. But here's the antibody test kits. Ito ang problema. Kung yung binibili mo naman palpak, o kung binibili mo ay 50% good, 50% basura ang mangyayari, di ginagamit mo yon for screening of people entering your jurisdiction. So ibig sabihin, yung 50% lang ang nahuli mo, yung 50% nakalusot, nahawa all it takes is one, all it takes, I heard of one guy sa probinsya, OFW, nakipaglibing, pumunta sa lamay, nakipaglibing, pumunta sa birthday party, kumuha pa ng dokumento sa City Hall, etc. Ayun, parang ang estimate nila 500 yata ang potential contacts niya na kailangan hanapin lahat. So we don't know what's going to happen there, but from the looks of it, we are challenged now. And sabagay, kung tutuusin, noon pa po sinasabi yan ng mga doktor tama si Dr. Bondoc when she said that this was raised as early as March, where there was, in fact, nag-away ka, nagkatampuhan pa si Joey Concepcion, the presidential assistant on entrepreneurship, and a group of doctors. Because Joey, I mean, let's be fair. At that time, he was trying to find solutions. He was trying to find ways to help. And we all want to do that. Unfortunately, under COVID-19, yung mga recommendations, solutions, especially kung unsolicited, medyo dyan nagkakapikunan, dyan nagkakairita. So what's happened is the doctor said, not a good idea, not reliable. Okay, Joey, for his part, if we can screen at least 50%, it's better. Bakit po? Because at that time, wala naman talaga tayong enough test kits. At sukdula ng mahal na pakiusapan pa. Remember, China was being accused of hoarding, controlling the supply for PPEs, masks, and test kits, etc. Until nagluwag na sila, and nakakuha na tayo. So at the end of the day, what happened was we got the test kits, but I think that's still the question right now. Do we have enough swab test kits in the Philippines that will allow the president to say, sige na, wag na natin gamitin yung rapid test for diagnosis of acute COVID-19. Yun lang po ang punto dito, no? Not for diagnosis kung meron kang acute COVID-19. Kumbaga, no, yung buhay na buhay yung COVID-19 sa'yo kasi makakahawa ka. Yun po yung position nila. Pwedeng gamitin yung rapid test para kung gusto mo mag-donate ng blood plasma or gusto mo lang makonfirm na tinamaan ka o hindi. Pero kung para lang baka lusot ka sa border, sa boundary, makapasok ka sa trabaho, medyo alanganin po. Anyway, let's go for a quick break, and when we return, alamin naman natin itong sa DSWD, may paraan ba para matigil naman itong nangyayaring pila-pila? Sabi ni Presidente, ayoko na ng pila. May pila. Baka mamaya mapilayan tayo dahil yung mga pumipila lahat tinamaan ng COVID. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250, as well as One News PH Facebook, One News PH on YouTube. Okay, marami pong nagsabi mga nakaraang buwan during COVID quarantine na yung Pilipino pasaway. The Filipinos are disobedient, they're unruly, etc., etc. And yet, time and again, these same people were proven wrong by data like I think it was Google map or something or whatever. It was some internet system that tracked Filipinos, yung mga upwardly mobile, yung mga dikotse, etc., may mga motor, at nakita, it was shown that they were actually, they limited their movement as per the quarantine regulations. Then there were a lot of comments about Filipinos not wearing masks. And yet a study, however small it was, pointed out that most Filipinos wore masks and followed rules. Ito na ngayon. Here is one of the new things that many have not seemed to focus on or bring attention to. With the Social Amelioration Program Fund, some people were saying, ayan, we should not be giving money to these people because ginagamit pang sabong, pampusta sa loto, pang bili ng toma, ayan, nasa kanto, nakatambay lang, tapos kumakain pa sila, nag-uumpok-umpukan. Ngayon, here's the thing. I was just reading data from related to the SAP and the DSWD, and part of their data shows that 58,725 58,725 Pilipino ay kusang loob na nagbalik or returned the Social Amelioration Fund, whether because they already received in a different location or perhaps they realize that they don't need it. Pero kusang loob silang nagbalik or yung asawa nila naka-receive na, etc. This is the kind of news that people need to hear. Filipinos are still honest, Filipinos are patriotic, and Filipinos are considerate. Huwag po tayo masyadong bumababa do sa nega. Kasi alam nyo, may mga kilala ako sa Facebook, kulang na lang talaga, soplaking ko at sabihin ko, teka, wala na akong nakita sa iyo kundi puro negative. Wala nang ginawang tama ang Pilipino, ang gobyerno, ang mundo. Punta ka na lang kaya sa Mars, no? In any case, sorry, I just wanted to point that out, and let's go to our next guest kasi malaman naman natin kamusta na ba sila, ano yung ginagawa nila. Let's speak with Miss Irene Dumlao, spokesperson of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Miss Irene, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Sir Cito.
Yeah, Miss Irene, pasensya ka na. Medyo ninenervyos yung internet ngayong umaga. In any case, Miss Irene, tama ba yung nabasa ko na yun? Kasi siyempre ako gusto ko i-promote yung good news na merong 58,725 na nagkusang loob, nagbalik ng Social Amelioration Fund. Can you give us the background to this voluntary return of Filipinos?
Yes, Sir Cito, tama po iyan. Meron tayong mahigit 50,000 na mga individual na nagsaoli po noong kanilang natanggap na ayuda. This is really a good story. Nagpapatunay lamang po na marami pa sa ating mga kababayan ang honest at ina-admit po nila na marami pa po ang mas nangangailangan kesa sa kanila. Apart from that, tama po yung nabanggit nyo, we have some beneficiaries na nakatanggap ng SAP from the DSWD at nakatanggap din po from the other agencies that implemented other social amelioration measures such as the DOLE, the DA, and the SSS, yung Small Business Wage Subsidy. So nung sila po ay nakatanggap na, isinauli po nila yan sa ating mga field offices. Apart from that, Sir Cito, nagkaroon din kasi tayo ng validation process wherein we cross-match itong ating mga listahan ng mga beneficiaries doon sa mga existing database po natin. Yung Pantawid Pamilya, gayon din doon sa mga ibang agencies. So when we were able to see na merong mga duplicates, meron po sa kanila ang nag-voluntary din sa una.
Kumbaga nahuli pero nagbalik. Hindi naman hindi, akin na to, nasa akin na, pinahirapan pa. So, nung Kuya Cito, na-doble yung padala sa'yo, binabalik ng mga iba.
Yes, Sir Cito. At nakakatuwa naman po na marami sa ating mga beneficiaries ang ina-admit po na marami sa kanila ang they could survive with the resources that they have, at sinasabi na may mga tao o may mga pamilya na mas nangangailangan kesa sa kanila. Kaya
Okay.
that's one of the reasons why they voluntarily returned their aid.
Ma'am, ano ba yan? Ang dami natin. Hindi, okay lang. Yan ang tanda mo, Miss Irene. Basta ganyan, lagay mo sa do not disturb. Lahat tayo natututo na tayo sa telepono ngayon. In any case, but does that create complication for the DSWD? Kasi parang, ayan, kumbaga sa accounting, yung mga ninyo, balancing your book, so to speak.
Yes, Sir Cito. In fact, ito nga pong mga nagsasauli sa atin ng ayuda, nasa liquidation report naman po natin, naka-reflect yan sa ating mga accounting records, that there are indeed funds returned to us para po ma-account natin, and then we be able to reconcile all our accounting records when the implementation of the social amelioration is over, and we could, gaya nga po ng nabanggit ko, we could account and we could answer naman po lahat ng mga questions pertaining to the financial matters.
Okay, now the Bayanihan 2 Act or ewan ko kano na tawag doon, may inapprove na naman yung Congress na subsidy for government, etc. Does this mean, kasi nung huli ko nakausap si Congressman Joey Salceda, sinabi niya sa programa, Cito, I'm pushing for SAP 3. Magkaka-SAP 3 ba? O anong SAP na ba tayo? Kasi kahit SAP-SAP nga, hindi pa ako nakakabili ngayon.
Yes, well, Sir Cito, ang DSWD naman po is an implementing agency. So whatever legislative measures passed by our Congress, titiyakin naman po ng departamento na may implement ang mga programa or services in the manner that we are expected to. Gaya nga po ng nabanggit nyo, the House bill was approved on third and final reading last night. And kung may isa batas na itong Bayanihan 2, then the DSWD will ensure that the SAP 3 or the third tranche of the social amelioration program will be effectively delivered.
Okay, now speaking of social amelioration program, Ms. Irene, there is now a growing concern na bagamat malaking tulong, talagang grasya galing sa gobyerno, yung social amelioration fund, may mga nag-aalala na yung mga implementing partners nyo, yung mga nagbibigay ng mga pondo na yon, medyo nagiging pabaya sa social distancing, sa processing. Ano na ba ang ginagawa ng DSWD para matigil yan? Kasi parang ang nangyari, sige, ibigay nyo na lang ibigay ang pera na yan para mawala na lahat itong pila sa harap ng opisina natin. Ang nangyari, we are placing the very beneficiaries at risk of getting COVID-19.
Yes, Sir Cito. Actually, itong ating mga beneficiaries, meron silang mga nominated restricted accounts. At these accounts, doon po nakakredit yung kanilang ayuda. Maaari po nilang gamitin ito sa pagbayad po ng mga bills nila o pagbayad doon sa mga groceries or establishments that honor digital transactions.
Mm.
So pwede po nilang gamitin itong mga accounts na to transfer funds. But then, itong ating mga beneficiaries, may option po kasi na i-cash out yung kanilang ayuda. So when they opt to cash it out, pupunta sila doon sa mga partner payout centers ng ating mga financial service providers. Ito po yung nakikita natin ng mga remittance centers or mga rural banks and other establishments. Tayo po ay nakikiusap sa ating mga beneficiary na makipag-ugnayan sa kanilang mga local government unit para mas magiging maayos yung pagpunta nila doon sa mga lugar if they opt nga po or if they choose to cash out their aid. Meron po tayong mga issues or mga concerns na natatanggap hinggil sa implementation ng social amelioration program as you have mentioned. And in fact nga po, Sir Cito, we have a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning with the partner financial service providers so that we could address these concerns and avert further issues.
Kasi alam mo, Miss Irene, suggestion lang, no? Kasi ako, pinupuri ko DSWD. Siguro naman, nadinig mo na yan from the opening pa lang of the program that we appreciate and also the fact that may honesty ang Pilipino. Pero alam mo, siguro panahon na para diktahan natin itong mga partner organizations na ito because when you think about it, and I'm sure you have been victimized, di ba? You go through the mall or you go through the bank or somewhere. Miss Irene, would you like a credit card? Libre po, 1 year po, wala kayong babayaran, no charge. And parang sabi ko nga, kasi katulad din yan to sa mga toll roads eh. Pwede naman gawing mandatory na lang na wala ng cash. Ano na lahat, naka-card na lahat and even the senior citizen cards. Sinabi ko na yan na dapat gawing project ng DOST na lahat ng Pilipino may one time big time na card. Pwede bang gano'n na lang ang gawin? You make it mandatory for them to issue cards, not cash. Kasi hindi rin matututo yung Pilipino, hindi rin mawawala itong COVID-19 na ito. Nako, di ba sabi ni Presidente, Ma'am Irene, ayoko na ng pila.
Yes, tama po kayo, Sir Cito. Kaya nga po, we continuously promote itong tinatawag nga natin use of digital transactions or use of electronic wallets para yung mga ating mga beneficiaries ay hindi na kinakailangan pang i-cash out yung kanilang ayuda para lamang po makapag-purchase sa mga o makapagbili ng kanilang mga pangunahing pangangailangan. Patuloy naman po natin yung ipinopromote o itinuturo sa ating mga beneficiaries as part also of our effort na tulungan ang ating partner na Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas sa pagpapaliwanag po o pagpapalaganap ng financial inclusivity. We understand that this is something new to most of the beneficiaries. Hindi lamang po ng DSWD, it's really a process that we have to undertake. But with the support, with the help of other organizations, I'm sure that we will be able to teach the members of the low income or the informal sector sa proseso po na ito so that we could really move forward and gear towards that direction.
Kaya mo, Miss Irene, kasi naintindihan ko naman, alam mo, lahat naman tayo may challenge. Ako, hindi pa ako nakaka-order sa Lazada. Takot akong bumili sa Shopee. Maraming bagay kasi yung mga taong kaedad ko, medyo kami parang sandali, baka kung ano pang sabit ang mangyari dyan. So there is a resistance, understandably. Kanya lang, siguro if you're going to be in that meeting and I won't delay you any further, Miss Irene, siguro mangyari na lang either by appointment or talagang mag-set up sila ng cordon doon, pila, kasi alam niyo nakita namin kapon sa front page ng Philippine Star wala ng 1 meter distancing. Delikado na tayo doon. In any case, we congratulate the DSWD for their efforts and thank you, Ms. Irene, na nakikipag-usap ka pa sa akin. Kasi yung iba raw ayaw makipag-usap sa akin, natatakot daw. In any case, thank you and please keep up the good work. Pakikamusta na lang si Secretary and mabuhay kayong lahat sa DSWD.
Thank you very much din po, Sir Cito, for continuously supporting the DSWD. Paalala lang po no, sa ating mga beneficiaries na pumupunta po sa ating mga payout centers. Wear mask, no? Maintain po natin yung social distancing, siguraduhin po natin na maprotektahan din po tayo mula sa banta ng COVID-19. Again, good morning, Sir Cito, and maraming salamat.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Irene Dumlao. Yan po ang spokesperson ng DSWD. Medyo pinatuloy ko na siya sa kanyang meeting kasi kaya naman, alam niyo po, sa totoo lang, kaming media, we want to get, sama na naisip ko, fresh catch of the day. Kailangan natin kasi ng sariwang balita. Kailangan natin makuha kaagad directly from the people involved or people concerned. Kanya lang, kuminsan, napapahaba yung puntahan, nakakalimutan namin na may trabaho pang iba yung mga taong yan. Katulad niya si Irene Dumlao, I'm sure she gets about 20, 30 calls in the morning pa lang, hindi pa ho yan buong hapon. But in any case, ayun na po, no? We encourage the DSWD to speak to their partners in the distribution of the SAP funds, but we also want to encourage kayo pong mga, kung sakasakaling nakakapanood kayo sa Facebook, alam niyo po, yan ang kagandahan ng Facebook Hindi mo kailangan maging anak mayaman o maging elitista para lang makapanood ng TV. Yung Facebook talagang very liberating yan. Ngayon, kung kayo po ay mga taong pumipila para tumanggap niyang social amelioration fund, maaari lang po, wag niyong gawin yung nangyari kahapon, nung isang araw, na dikit-dikit na, doon sa Marikina yata yun, Marikina, dikit-dikit na ang mga tao. Diyan nagkahawahan, di ba? Yung doon sa, nung binuksan yung ekonomiya, walang masakyan, mga tao naglundagan na sa mga truck na pinadala ng AFP. Wala na social distancing. Ngayon, anong sinasabi ng mga mayor? Ayan, nung binuksan yung ekonomiya, ayan, nagkalat na yung COVID sa kanila. So, in any case, panghuling paalala na lang po, no? Just as a reminder, and please bear with me on this one. A lot of us are acting like guerrillas. Let's be honest, no? Ito po, bukas po, kung mababasa niyo yung column ko sa Philippine Star, nagkukwento ako doon na isang pamilya, medyo extended family, medyo nagkasamaan sila ng loob. Bakit kanyo? Kasi isang araw, yung dalawa sa kanilang parang ampun-ampunan nila doon o alaga nila, tinawagan ng kuyang na nakatira sa isang bahay at sinabi, pumarinig kayo dito, nalulungkot kami, kakain kami, pasyal kayo dito. So yung mga kapatid pumunta doon sa kanilang kuya. Tapos pagkatapos kumain doon at lahat, tulog yata doon, umuwi, kinabukasan, bumalik doon sa kanilang trabaho na parang kanilang bahay-bahayan na rin. And when they got there, the kuya called and said, bad news. Ano yun, kuya? I tested positive for COVID-19. Nagpa-test kasi ako 4 days ago. Ngayon lang lumabas yung resulta. So ito ngayon nangyari. So yung dalawang yun na bumalik doon sa kanilang tinitirahan, ngayon medyo na bad trip yung mga kasama kasi sila na-expose din sa COVID. Pagkatapos yung isa doon, dahil sa pangambang magkahawahan, pinauwi na lang sa bahay nila, sa ibang bahay naman. So ang nangyari, effectively about 4 families are now playing wait and see to find out if they tested COVID positive. Ito po ang mahirap. Nagkasamaan ng loob. Yung samaan ng loob, dala na yun, it was brought about by fear, frustration. I guess, a lot of people want to say, you should have had more sense, you should have been more responsible. Pero tinext ko nga yung isa o dalawa sa kanila at sinabi ko, bakit? Alam mo bang meron kang COVID? Hindi mo na maalam na akalain na magkaka-COVID ka. Pero doon sa sinulat ko pong column, I just want to point out to many of us. Ang sabi ng quarantine, stay home. Essential travel only. Yung essential travel, maluwag na po ito. One would be to go to buy food and supplies. So, either sa sari-sari store, din sa amin sa kanto, or sa supermarket. That's one. Or to buy medicines o medical need. Punta ka sa ospital, magpapacheck up. And third, and talagang extreme na nga ito, dapat nga hindi ito pinayagan under a real quarantine, is to go to work. Pero sabi nga ni Presidente, wala na akong magagawa, wala na akong ipapakain sa inyo, kailangan maghanap buhay ang tao. So ayun, yung tatlong yun. Pero alam nyo, let's be honest, in 4.5 months, I have seen friends, respected friends, go to Tagaytay to have lunch, go on a road trip, go on a bike trip. Yung iba pumunta dito sa department store na ito, ako na, mangumpisyal na ako. Ako nagpunta ako sa pet store. Okay? Sabi kasi ng pet store, essential yun, Cito, kasi essential bumili kang pagkain para sa isda mo. Ganun. But lahat tayo guilty. Sinabi ko nga, bagamat sabi naman ni Secretary Bernard Romulo Puyat, Cito, residente ka naman ng Lipay, so you were allowed. But I only did that once. And yet, I did it. So, as the Lord said, he or she who is without sin cast the first stone. Ang punto po dito ay doon sa pamilyang yon na apektuhan, sinasabi ko, huwag kayong mag-away-away kasi sa panahon ng COVID, importante, number one, mabuhay tayo. Pangalawa, matapos tayong, buo tayo. Pamilya pa rin tayo, hindi yung nagwatak-watak. And then, last but not the least, alam po, we have to be honest. If we really want to put an end to COVID-19, it's not going to end because you wore a mask. It might be reduced because in addition to your mask, you wore a face shield. It will certainly be restricted if we kept our distance. Nasa Ecclesiastes po yan. A time to draw close and time to pull apart. Yan po, kailangan po natin gawin yon. But we also need to be honest with ourselves. Yung mga lakad po natin, yung mga galaw natin, essential pa ba? Makatotohanan ba tayo sa sinasabi nating kailangan kong gawin? Kasi alam nyo po, kung kayo ay parang kiti-kiti, para kayong may nunal sa paa, para kayong mga, huwag nang magsalita, di na ako magsalita, para kayong panicking pagdating ng gabi nawawala, babalik lang paggabi, araw, mag-ingat po tayo kasi puna tayo ng puna sa gobyerno, puna-puna sa otoridad, pero tayo hindi rin tayo ganap at lubos ang pagsunod. Kahit na hindi na kayo sumunod, yung pagkilala nyo lang na you need to do this, that is responsibility and being responsible. I just hope that all of you would bear that in mind. Don't want to ruin your day, but we need to take stock of what we have been doing and what we really need to do to stop COVID-19. And I will remind you once again, please make sure that while you're doing all of this, pray for God Almighty Yahweh, our Lord Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit to show you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and to lead you and correct you. That's agenda for today. Please have a good day, have a healthy day, and don't forget to have fun. Marami pa ring fun sa bahay mo, hanapin mo lang. Wag naman puro fandesal, ha? Okay, that's agenda. Have a good day.